Welcome back, Steve's Retirement Corner. Flashback Friday. How I backed into retirement. I think for the next, I don't know, a handful of Fridays, I'm gonna have, I'm gonna put out some videos discussing all the major highlights of retirement. You know, as far as your Social Security, your debt, and junk like that. And I'm gonna title them the same way, Flashback Friday, and have a subtitle down there like dead or whatever. So if you ain't interested, you can cruise on by, or you can stop by and have a glass of tea. But I really haven't been fair to y'all, man. I ain't approached any of them daggone topics in probably a year and a half or so, and it puts people at a disadvantage because I'm living it. I know why I did what I did, and y'all don't have no frame of reference really, and I hadn't approached them topics in quite a while, and I ain't the easiest person to understand. But if you have any questions, hey, feel free to put them in the comments, or send me an email if you'd rather. If you don't want everybody to know your question, I ain't got no problem in it at all. I answer just about anything gets thrown my way. But so that's what I plan on doing next 3, 4, 5 Fridays, whatever, until we get through them. I'm hoping to give y'all a little bit of help, so you don't get so confused by my ramblings. Is what it is. But I figured I'd start right at the beginning here. How I backed into retirement. I considered backing in because it was never planned. I always figured I'd retire at 65, take my Social Security and insurance, and fade off into the sunset. When I turned, just before I turned 55, I was looking at things, and I said, man, I might be able to slip out a little bit early. I figured about 60 or so, 62 maybe. But 6 months later, when I was 55, in June 6th, I was coming home one morning after a graveyard shift, and it hit me. I was just done with it. The work culture is nothing like when we started. It isn't. And you throw in everything that happened with COVID, man, it just got to the point that I was done with everything. I was tired. I was wore out, burnout, or whatever you want to call it. And that's when I decided to go get help, man. I checked with financial advisors, tax consultants, insurance agents. I checked with all that stuff, man. See if I couldn't get out a little bit early. Come to find out, somehow, over the past few decades, I did enough right that I could leave when I was ready. You all hear that FIRE movement. I'm sure you have. They got all them different versions: fat fire and lean fire and cruise fire and junk like that. I was never one of them, and I consider what I did as an accidental fire. Sort of like what they call them firebugs that set fires to buildings. Well, I did that to my career, I guess. and if I wasn't able to go, I wouldn't have went. I'd have stayed in there, or I'd have found another job somewhere else. Most people do whatever the heck they got to do until they don't have to no more. That's what I figure anyways. And I'd have done the same thing. I got lucky. Simple as that. No harder than that. Did the same thing everybody else did. I try to watch my expenses and debt. I try to live below my means. Save and invest the rest the best I knew how. Little stuff like that's all I did, and got lucky. Got extremely lucky. I didn't get an injury where I couldn't go back to work. Didn't come down with no bad illness or nothing. We were fortunate that we didn't have any major disasters. I got extremely lucky. It's hard to planning for retirement. is not really that daggone complicated. It's when you're putting that plan into action that it gets hard. You know, and it's real hard, especially when you got the daggone the wolf standing at the front door there waiting on that mortgage. But little Johnny needs a set of braces. You know, and the daggone cars needs a muffler or something. Somehow life has a tendency to throw you in a ditch every once in a while, and you have to get back on the tracks. We had to do it time and time and time again. You know. But I did the same thing everybody else did, man. I hustled. I busted my butt for a few decades, man. You know, last almost 34 years, I was an operator at a plant. First a string plant, then a chemical plant. You know, before that I did mainly warehouse work, running a forklift, picking orders, loading trailers, junk like that. You know, and somewhere along the way, I was able to dabble in a little bit of everything else I could find to make a little extra money. You know, from appliance repair to zucchini sales. I never did sell any zucchinis, but I couldn't think of anything that I did that started with a Z. But you get the idea, man. A little bit of paint, a little bit of roofing, sales work, cleaned out horse stalls, did some goat bin work, whatever it took, you know. And it got me through. And it allowed me to get out a little bit early. And I still ain't comfortable with that. You know, it's a personal hang-up I got. It's sort of, it's almost a shame feeling, you know. I don't tell anybody I'm retired unless they specifically ask. I don't feel like I should be retired. I don't feel like I earned it. I'm too young. There's not a darn thing wrong with me, except for I wanted to leave. You know? You know, when we grew up, man, if you were physically able, you worked. If you didn't, you were a bum. You know, and I kind of feel like a bum. But that's me. It's getting better. But I mean, it's just a personal hang-up I got. But y'all take care of yourself, man. Y'all try to make the best weekend you can out of it. It's raining here now, and they're expecting it to rain all week, so we'll see. You'll be careful on the slippery roads. And we'll talk to y'all later.